Is it loud? No, no.
Good evening and welcome to the Ferguson City Council meeting for April to 21st of the outgoing mayor. Opening ceremony, meeting is now called to order. Stand for a solemn prayer. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk London, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Noel,
Here.
Councilwoman Covington,
Here.
Councilman Castle,
Here.
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Councilman Franklin,
Here.
Councilman Palmer,
Here.
Councilman Williams.
He will be late. We have a quorum present. At this time, we will open up our public comments. Each person who comes to the podium, we ask that you give your name and your address. You have 3 minutes. If you go over 3 minutes, you're hit a sound. If you're persistent on talking, I will instruct the city manager to have one of the officers to escort you out. Speak loud enough that we can capture your statements in the microphone. At this time, Clerk London, who is your first person?
Henry,
Good evening, council, mayor, and citizens.
Wait a minute. Would you all be quiet, please?
Can I
Now
recap-
start.
Can I recapture my time?
I'll let you know.
Okay. Good evening, council, mayor, city manager, and employees of the city and the citizens. My name is Henry Wonderful. I live at 17 Honeywell. I'm here this evening, not only as a candidate for the state representative of 73rd District. I'm here to remind my fellow citizens and the elected officials of their responsibility. Last week, they were given 300 pages to read 2 hours before they were supposed to vote. I walked on those 300 pages and I have it daily. What will happen to our school district? The first year they will lose, Ferguson School District will lose about $4 million on this program. Second year, Jennings School District will lose about $1 million on that document that you have. This is a program that is going around the country looking for vulnerable cities like ours that don't have the resources to check and see what's going on. I think you need to think twice about this program. That's on the financial aspect of it. I've already spoken on the health aspect of it. My experience with building power plants, and I talked about data center. The power plants, you're gonna have nitrogen in the air. The other one, and carbon dioxide, and before they even told you yesterday how many megawatts power plants you're gonna have, I said between 130 to 200 megawatts. And that's what they're building. Even the space is too small for what they're talking about. So I'm still confused about why we are rushing to do this to our community. You have fiduciary responsibility as elected officials to your community. And it's important that you pay attention to your fiduciary responsibility, because if this falls down, we are going to come back just like they did in Festus. We will come for you. Now, even after you lose, your fiduciary responsibility holds you to doing something wrong. None of you read those documents before you acted on it. So thank you for my time. I have time to continue on the second administration. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, people, if you want to clap, we'll be here till 11 o'clock tonight. Next person.
Richard,
Hello, I'm Richard Buteau at 21 Colchester. And I want to acknowledge two council members for being honest and upfront about their intentions on voting for the tax giveaway to the former Emerson Data Center project. Thank you, Mr. Williams and Mr. Franklin. I'm very disappointed in the rest of you. Your secrecy is shameful, as it is far from the best service you can give your constituents. Everyone in this room probably can guess how you will vote. My big question is, why? This isn't rhetorical. I want an answer. How did you come to your decision? What did you read? Name the source. What experts did you consult? Name them. Surely you aren't basing your decisions on the sales pitch of an ambulance chaser who doesn't even live here. Surely you aren't voting based on personal friendships with colleagues while disregarding your constituents. How you justify your vote to every school child of the next generation? What will you say to the constituent with a ruined car due to an unfilled pothole? What is your message to a citizen who called City Hall only to find hours are reduced once more? You will never be able to fill the pockets of freeloading developers. They will never stop taking. Stand up for yourselves. And more important, stand up for Ferguson. On another note, Mayor Jones, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Dr. Jackie,
Good evening.
I didn't bring my laptop tonight because I have only 3 points. Number one, I have written.
What is your address?
Oh, yes, sorry about that. 19 South Barrett, Dr. Lewis Harris. I've written my Ward 1 counselors and asked them to basically tell me more about how they stand on this bill. No reply. Sent it 2 weeks ago. I sent it again this week. But I'm just letting you know that people are asking these questions. We don't know a lot of what's going on. You have to go on Facebook to get descriptions. I've worked in many different countries and worked in big institutions here in St. Louis, $1 million, billion-dollar projects. And every single one of those projects had an illustration. What are we going to build? This is what it looks like. This is where we're going to spend the money. There's nothing here. I have looked everywhere, looked all over, even using AI to try to find a description of what is actually going to be built here on our backs. And the other thing is I would really like to have you all delay the decision on this because there's too many holes. I have consulted with engineers, I've consulted with other lawyers about this project, and there's holes there. What is our community plan? What is our community benefit plan? 2 sentences. That doesn't account for everything that's going to go on here in the city. Thank you.
Linda,
Good evening, City Council. My name is Linda Lipka. My address is 818 La Maison in Ferguson, Missouri. So, you know, this project, I'm in the middle, okay? I believe that there's more information to be had, but I also know from 9 years of sitting in your chair that a budget is coming up, and the budgets in the past, we have cut. We have gotten this budget down to the lowest amount it is currently, and now you're gonna have to cut a lot more. So the reality is the budget, you know, be careful what you pray for. We pray for somebody to come into our community and help us with this, and this is what we have. So now we have this. I'm in the middle because I'm still talking, thank you, room. I'm in the middle because I want a little more answers. But at the same time, I don't want to see this community lose out on an opportunity that could be the supply of income that we need to grow this community for the next 50 years. I also have heard a lot of story versus what's real. And the story is a mush of all the headlines across the nation about why data centers should never happen. But the reality is this is the newest industrial revolution. It's going to happen. So as a community, as citizens of the United States, you have to be diligent. When the Industrial Revolution happened, it was people who came in and created conversation around different things that were happening within factories, and they created the restrictions and the boundaries that factories work within. Same thing is going to have to happen here. And it's going to be dependent and just really dependent on the community to be diligent about paying attention to what's going on and asking for restrictions, asking for ordinances, asking for data, proof. Now, let's get to what's real. We keep hearing about, oh, the school district's going to lose all this money and the Ferguson Library is going to lose all this money and so forth. That is the story that is being convoluted so that it scares you to death. The reality is, if this project doesn't happen, we are making currently a little over $800,000 in property taxes, real property taxes. If this project doesn't happen and that becomes a vacant piece of land, then it's going to drop by half or more. So you're going to be looking at a situation, for instance, where currently in 2026, the Ferguson Library is getting $27,831 from real property taxes. They're going to drop that down to anywhere between $10,000 and $7,000. If this project does go through, they'll get their 27 this year. They'll get 50 next year. They'll get 92 in 2 years. They'll get 134 in 3 years, and so forth. The school district, even though I did vote for the increase, and I love the school district because I guarantee you I've given more money in scholarships to that school district than anybody in this room. But the school district will make money too. Mayor, I am done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me. Who's next?
Jill,
Good evening. My name is Jill Holtrup. I live at 100 South Clay. Now, I realize there are people here who will disagree with me, but this is what I would like to say. My firm has worked with many different developers around the city and the country who have been involved in a variety of campus renovations or repurposing of facilities. I do not understand treating this developer like the enemy. I do not understand how opinions that have no basis in fact and are blowing things way out of proportion are being allowed to take up so much airtime. There has been much fear-mongering around this project based on nothing factual. It has been suggested that only a certain segment of our population will be affected by this proposal, but I do not agree. If this were to be bad, it would be bad for all of us. If it is good, it will be good for all of us. The fact of the matter is that there is a St. Louisan who has a vision called the Butterfly Project, who is interested in repurposing this campus to be a multi-purpose campus with which will attract kinds of cutting-edge, sustainable, green-based companies, engineering, and high-tech firms who employ people who have high-paying jobs and who can contribute to the economy of Ferguson, all while working on an environmentally friendly campus, even friendly to butterflies. The fact that this developer is willing to move his entire 50-person staff to this campus, which includes members of his family, shows, in my estimation, his deep commitment to maintaining a safe and healthy environment for everyone. However, that fact seems to fall on deaf ears. He needs our help in the form of tax abatements to accomplish this, as it will take time to attract a number of tenants to make this project financially feasible. As the development succeeds, so does Ferguson. The development needs to make money, and our city and our school districts need the money. To think that there will be better opportunities to come along regarding this property is foolish. There are no companies lining up to invest in Ferguson. If this property becomes uninhabited, the tax revenue generated from it will go practically nothing. The next firm, if there even is one, may not ask for tax abatements, and they will do exactly what they want to do on that campus without anyone in Ferguson knowing what's going on there. And it could be the exact opposite of what is beneficial to Ferguson and its residents. I see this as a wonderful opportunity, and I think it will be a travesty if some sort of mutually equitable arrangement is not able to be made on this project. I consider this developer, assuming a mutually equitable negotiation can be reached with them, to be the Ferguson's new best friend. This would be a major game changer for the future of Ferguson. It would help restore our reputation locally and nationally, and it would finally make us financially secure so that the much needed services that have had to be eliminated can finally be restored to our citizens, and we won't have to have such a nickel and dime approach to our city's budget anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paulette,
Good evening, Mayor and to everybody here. I've been here
I
about,
need your address.
oh, I'm sorry. I live at 5320 LC. I've been here about in 25, like 2 or 3 times. And I have brought up the water that was coming out the easement to my neighbor and the neighbor to me. Now, when you come into this forum, then you state your complaint, whatever it is. I don't, I know it comes up and later on or might come up in the meeting, but my situation has not been addressed. It has not been solved. I was promised, I had my landlord here, and when I brought my landlord here, he gave the number to her and said that he was gonna work on it, he was gonna get back. Nothing has been done, nothing. The water is still here. As I stated before, it comes. This winter, it comes down through the easement part of my home, and this winter it freezes up. And I was going to the mailbox. I busted my right hand and my right knee severely, severely. It wasn't because the snow. It was just it was so cold that it makes an ice skating rink, as I stated before. I keep coming here. How, when, if somebody I was out the other day, a couple of weeks ago, I was stirring around in my yard and another Ferguson man was coming around the corner about this house that I guess they were going to condemn, and he seen the water. He said, this is not cold. Everybody knows it's not cold. Somebody knows what's going on, how to fix it. My councilwoman has been bringing it up and it's going on. So when things keep getting brought up, and it was over in 25, we in 26. So I guess I'll be addressing the new mayor in 27, etc. How and when can we have this situation taken care of that it will get rid of this water that's constantly for years, years on top of years. Nobody knows, but they know. They know. People know where it's coming from. Now, if it was a fault of mine, if I had trash, y'all be fine to me. Why can't they do something to the people that where this water is coming from to get the matter cleared up? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Alan,
Alan Miller, 435 Darst. So good evening.
Good evening.
Last week, I requested that each of you certify that you have read all 308 pages of Bill 7338. For those of you who did not respond, I formally repeat the request. Tell us, without equivocation, whether or not you have thoroughly, personally reviewed Bill 7338. Let us know what efforts you have taken to get complete, accurate, and unbiased help in understanding and evaluating this huge, complicated project that has so much missing information and undefined promises. Councilman Williams last week asked whether Bill 7338 provides for a purchase or a lease agreement. As long as the industrial bonds are in service, the city of Ferguson buys and owns basically everything. The city buys and owns the land, the buildings, the computer equipment, generators, switchgear, industrial fabrication equipment, the desks, file cabinets, cafeteria furniture, bike racks, everything. The implications of these provisions are profound. You need to thoroughly understand the threats this poses to the city. You need to be aware of provisions of the bill that sound good when you first read them, but give a different understanding when better understood. For instance, as an architect, the developer promises to comply with environmental regulations and building codes. Although that may sound good, it's meaningless. Codes and regulations provide the legal minimums that everyone must meet. The developer suggests that they will go beyond basic requirements for environmental responsibility. The highest established standard, LEED Platinum certification, can still create significant environmental harm. The certification simply means that compared to a non-LEED building, the certified building is less harmful to the environment. This project could still generate the huge amounts of air, water, heat, and noise pollution affecting our neighborhoods and diminishing the quality of life for Ferguson residents and our surrounding communities. 70 will be personally determining the future of our city and region. I ask each of you once again to clearly state whether or not you have reviewed the entirety of Bill 7338. You are elected to look after our best interests. It will be irresponsible for you to take action on this bill if you do not fully understand how this project could affect our city and our surrounding communities. Thank you.
Thank you.
Larry,
Larry Robinette, 514 Tiffin Avenue, Ferguson, Missouri. Good evening, Council and Mayor.
Good evening.
I would like to offer a research and fact-based consideration to the proposed data center at the Emerson site. Data center, the new bad word. Is there a risk associated with this or any data center? Of course there is. There is not a single business venture that has ever been proposed that has zero risk. Are you going to die from cancer next year due to this data center? No. There is a risk for the business, for the investors, and for the city of Ferguson. The city of Ferguson's risk is not significant in this equation. No amount of growth comes without some amount of risk. Taxes. One thing that stands out here is the misinformation around the expected tax revenue associated with the data center. Along with residents, I've seen the library and the school district denounce the data center under the pretense that it will take money out of their pockets for tax abatements. The simple analysis says the current tax revenue generated by the Emerson property will grow significantly after year one and continue to grow in future years, more than they are earning today. Of course, you cannot predict the absolute amount of growth because markets change and investors change what they will support. However, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that betting on data centers is about as solid as it gets. Could the investment fail to generate less? Yes, but again, very low risk. Health and environmental risks. There is a large-scale false narrative being put in play here. As I understand it, the site is proposing to use natural gas generation. This is the cleanest burning fossil fuel for generating power. All fossil fuels generate some harmful emissions. However, natural gas generates the least. Today's combustion engines are so efficient that they emit far less nitrogen and sulfuric oxides than they have ever historically done so. I managed 21 data centers across the US as a part of my job with a large IT company. They all had backup generators, cooling towers, and large power consumption. Not one of them caused the level of impact being spread by the untruths in use today, even though the technology was 20 years old by today's standards. We're far better today. It appalls me that this data center discussion has become an exercise in choosing sides, fueled by false narratives, fear-mongering, and inflamed rhetoric. My conversations have led me to realize this is nothing more than the divide that is already in play for every other issue in this city. I am asking my city council to please vote yes on Bill 7338 for the benefits that it will bring to Ferguson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Laverne,
Good evening, council. Good evening, everyone. The Honorable
I need
Mayor,
your address.
okay, 508
Hunters Ridge Drive, Ferguson, Missouri. When I first met you, Mayor, you were on a mission to bring the city together. Michael Brown had just been killed. And you were on a mission to bring the city together and move us forward. And you convinced me to get involved and actually run for council. I wasn't sure about it. I had never been in politics, but you convinced me that it was needed because we wanted to move forward and come together. And I will never forget that. When I got on council, we got the consent decree signed. You referred me to where I need to go for new classes to understand the whole thing about, being on council. And I appreciated that. Nobody did that but you. You have done a lot of things in this city. Unity Weekend was something that I always favored because it did a lot. Not only providing the kids with books and bags and material they needed, but it brought us together. So I'd like to say to you, I can't name it all, but I worked with you on a lot of projects when I was on the council. I learned a lot from you, and I just want you to know I appreciate your service. The other thing I want to add real quick, I just heard Larry and I'm listening to everybody, but I don't think this is a fear-mongering thing. I don't think it's a thing to divide us. I think it's people seriously not wanting something to happen that will end up not being good for us. I think it seriously is that. I gave you all a packet, Environmental Racism, Wash You, study. I don't know if you all read it or not, but I thought it was important that you read it because it's real. And data centers have been placed in a lot of majority Black communities, people of color communities. And I'm listening to everybody so I can see see and hear everybody's perspective. But this is not a fear-mongering, divided, people making up stuff. A lot of people have done their homework. They've done their homework in a lot of ways. And they've had it on television also. So all I'm saying is, don't just think we're getting up here, making stuff up and want to cause division. That is not it. People want what's best for them and this city. Thank you.
Mildred,
Mildred Klein's, 7444 Castro. So I didn't write anything tonight. I'm just gonna speak from my heart. I don't want the people here to be bamboozled. The people that's watching this, don't be bamboozled. Consider the folk who came up here and said, oh, we want data centers. Just consider that. Excuse me? Consider those people that's pushing for this data center. Like I said, there are terms. All money is not good money. The path of least resistance, like Ms. Laverne said, they're placing these data centers right in the communities of people of color, right down the street from where I live, at the bottom of my street. We're not against data centers, just not there. So we're gonna look and see, it's not a threat or anything, but you all have a record of not listening to the folk who come up here and express our concerns. You have a pattern of that. But what I promise you, if you vote for this, the election is coming up, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure you don't sit in those seats again. Thank you.
Miss Annette, please filter yourself. No more outbursts. I'm asking you nicely. Thank you. Next person.
Fran,
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I come tonight to ask for hold on this
Your
bill.
address, please.
Address is 7595 Blanding Drive. I come tonight to ask for a hold on this bill. I think it's being rushed. I've had conversations with a few of the council members, and we talked about good business, and I agree with good business. I agree with healthy business. And to those who are in support of it, I would suggest you take your car, pull it into the car park, and turn the car on and just let the exhaust hit you for a good 15 minutes and see if you like it down the street from your house. I would also like to say that I appreciate you for serving as mayor. I really would. Although we have not always agreed, I have been able to see your leadership in that role. And I do believe that you got a lot of flack. And then some was righteous and some wasn't. But I do respect the fact that you still kept your head up and served in that position. So I thank you for doing that, because at the time we needed you there. So thank you. I will say I am against this AI data center solely because of the health. Solely because of the health. That's pretty much it. You know, I was the one that actually talked about Blackstone. I introduced it to you all in the first place. But this was before it was talk about a data center. This was when I was suggesting solar energy and the city of Ferguson partnering to do that. So something clean, not something that was going to affect our kids, affect our neighborhoods, affect our property, our real estate, and force the people who have been providing sales tax, providing real estate tax, providing taxes to this city out just simply so that we can breathe. When I read through some of that things in the bill, I thought about the bonds and I said, is this what they think the value of our life is worth? Is this what the price of our life is worth to you? When you look up AI, they tell you the number of deaths that they expect. AI that they expect by the year 2030 with a gas-powered AI data center. I was conflicted at first, but it's simple to me. This is about preserving life, both human and our little four-legged critters. I thought about the birds and the deers and the little hedgehogs that we see. All of that is gonna go away when you got something, when there's smoke blowing out the top of something and there's not enough filter. I am in favor of advanced technology. I do see the benefits that it could have, but not if it's we're not expendable. Our lives are not expendable. Where we invest is not expendable, and it's not okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Steve,
Steve Wiegert, 216 Wesley Avenue. My comments are going to be brief. There's been enough positive, negative, factual, misinformation presented to you guys. I'm here just to express my thanks and appreciation for the council working with staff and the efforts that they put forward to come up with this plan to move Ferguson forward. You're all to be congratulated for your efforts, tolerance of the controversies that you've been subjected to, and certainly glad it's not me sitting in that middle chair, Mayor. So again, thank you very much. Having the foresight to move Ferguson forward with this project on the Emerson campus. I'd much rather see that happen than it turn to woodland and brush. There's no benefit for that to happen. That's all I have to say. Mayor, congratulations on your retirement, at least from this chair. Good luck on your campaign, and the rest of you keep up the good work. It's a tough job when you have controversy like this. I appreciate the effort. Appreciate the effort, Dave.
Thank you.
Shirley,
Good evening, Council, Mayor Jones. I'm Shirley Emerson, 261 Royce Drive. And I just want to say a couple of things because I know that you're in a very precarious, a very difficult position having to make the decisions that you're having to make. But I do want to remind us about one thing, that right now, data centers as a whole is like a massive firebomb. And it's national, it's regional, it's local. But I'm going to beg you not to let the flaming embers of this inferno hide us from some of the other positive things about this project, not the projects in Franklin County or Festus or whatever, but the ones here, the one here that we're talking about. Because even though it is a data center that's included, but it's a small data center that already exists, and they talk about how they're going to improve it. But I do want to lift up some other things that are in the project that maybe people are overlooking because so much attention is on the data centers. The project is going to generate $30 million in new tax revenue, and that's over the proposed abatement. It's going to do it, and if they don't do it, then the city is likely to receive less than $1 million over that abatement period. Not only that, but this project is going to generate utility tax, which would be very, very helpful to our budget. We're talking about 217 acres of land. That's a lot of land. And if it doesn't happen, we'd be sitting here with a big hole because we'd be dealing with vacancies, and not to mention the depreciation of property in and around the area, which takes in all of Ferguson, because this is a big part of Ferguson. The other thing that's really important about it is that obviously they are committed to bringing jobs in. They're going to retain the 300 jobs that they already have there, but they're talking about bringing in an additional 200 jobs. And with that, of course, comes people moving in and out of this community, which means they're going to spend dollars in this community, which means we've been wanting West Florissant to get revitalized. Well, this is an opportunity to maybe, put a fire under the revitalization, bringing more businesses into the community, because they will be supported by all of the additional traffic that we will have as a result of this. And this will not only, this will expand our tax base.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Mayor, for your service.
Okay.
Erica,
Good evening. When I think about these data centers, first of all, when John Under came here, he talked about he wasn't a billionaire or whatever, but that's not true. I looked up his net.
Did you give us your address?
Oh, no, 462 Mueller. I looked up the net worth of this gentleman and looked up other properties that he's invested in. Just this one property that I looked at right off of 170 and 40, right there on the corner. I think it's a CBIC, something like that. It was worth $34.3 million. That building it's like a cohort building where they have offices in. Just that one building. So to tell us, you're talking about like putting a huge shadow on our intelligence to say, I'm not rich. This man, he comes here with lies. He came here with some cry and empathetic speech about, how he's gonna bring his family. That doesn't say a thing about the jobs that he's gonna give to our community as a whole. I mean, that's called nepotism. I mean, like, why would we be inspired because he's bringing his people here to work? No, he should have been stressing what number of jobs that he's gonna have for us as a community. Also, I looked up basically how far should a data center be from another one? And we have one in Berkeley already. So how much information do you need in one location, right? So it says for disaster recovery and business continuity compliance, a data center is typically recommended to be 30 to 100 miles apart
Now, I looked up how the miles between that one and this one they're talking about having over here in Ferguson. That's 24 miles. So that means that it's not in compliance with the distance as a whole. So I mean, is anybody looking at that? How, I mean, there's no safety in that. I mean, like Ms. Mildred said, everybody's money ain't good. All right, so why are these people, I mean, most of y'all up here are realtors, right? Real estate people, right? So these people, if you look up, under law, if you look up Blackstone, they're about property, they're realtors. So they're about the property, not about the people that are on their, land, right? So when they're talking about bringing business in, those businesses gonna be paying for their property. They're gonna be bringing money in to pay for their space. So we talking about having tax abatement for what? These people got money. Why do we need their money? No, we need them to be upfront and say, okay, well, we got money. We just want your real estate in order to, if you talk, they were talking about doing the homework or whatever. I looked at that video talking about AI or whatever else, and Blackstone and how they're like a global realty business, locking in all the real estate that they can in order to have AI everywhere. So please be upfront with us. Y'all say no to this, please. It's for our health.
Congratulations, Miss Erica. Congratulations.
Melanie,
Good evening. My name is Melanie Marie, 415 Harrison Avenue, 3rd Ward. 12-year resident, mother of 2 daughters that I'm raising here. Mayor Jones, I appreciate what you represented in becoming and sustaining in your role as mayor in the toughest of times. And although we haven't always agreed, I respect you and wish you well. At this point, the community understands the risks, and you do too, whether you avoid it or not. So this is no longer about the confusion. This is about your decisions as electeds. Because if this process had been transparent, if this deal had been real, enforceable protections in place, and if you made decisions in the best interest of the community, we wouldn't need the NAACP, eco-socialist organizations, or anyone else stepping in to demand the same pause the community has already been calling for. Bill 7338 is being advanced without a finalized development agreement, without a real community benefit agreement, and without guarantees in returns to the people. But instead, with tax abatements, negotiable payments, and the opportunity to welcome future unknown and unnamed end users into the fold. And somehow we are being voluntold to just trust you while you play in our faces. And listen, Linda, to reiterate, we are not calling for prohibition. We believe in innovation. We believe in economic development, but I do not believe in approving a deal that asks the community to take a risk on without any guarantees and expecting us to just trust you. You have proven that we cannot. The same folks who choose complicity and continue to push for a deal with obvious risks are the same ones we see at the ballot box one day. See, what's most concerning at this point isn't even the project itself anymore. It's the posture. Because neutrality in a moment like this is wrong as hell when our community is at risk. When you have the power to pause this and to demand transparency and you choose not to, that is a deliberate decision. So tonight, the demand is simple. Pause the ugly butterfly project, release the full agreements, engage the community for real. Because if this deal is as good as it's being sold to be, it should be able to stand up to this scrutiny, and it's not. You don't get to call this a good deal or progress if the people have no protections in it. And lastly, to the gentleman who spoke at the last meeting about how we wouldn't be here in this situation financially had it not been for the consent decree. I say to that, we wouldn't be here if this city didn't have a proven track record of self-serving, systemic racism so deeply embedded that it led to the murder of Michael Brown Jr. on August 9, 2014. And you will pay for that, even if you go broke doing it. Yeah. Do the right thing.
Adrian,
Good evening, council. Good evening, citizens, and good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, Mayor.
It's been a pleasure.
Address?
Oh, 709 Okay, I should know by now. 709 Forest Avenue, 63135. Adrian Shropshire. Mayor, it's been a pleasure to be your friend and you be my mentor. And the time that you put in with our city has been real rewarding. You're someone that I can look up to, that I've more or less looked at how you run the meetings. I've watched that closely. We are friends. Yeah, friends do fall out, and that's, I tell you, we do. But in the long run of things, we come back together and we're the best of friends. And that's what true friends are about. I enjoyed plants with you. I enjoyed your advice on how to move around the community and be a good volunteer, and how to be accountable and trustworthy and dependable, and most of all, integrity. That is one thing that I've learned. My mom taught me that years ago. Your word is your bond. And that's one thing I have with everybody on the council and with you, Mayor. I appreciate you and good luck in your venture. And I really enjoyed being underneath your leadership. Thank you.
Public comments is now closed. We move to our manager's report. City Manager Dave Musgrave.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Just a couple of things to go over tonight. I wanted to bring up the Juneteenth celebration. It is on Saturday, June 13th from 2 to 7 at Forestwood Park. It's 806 Ferguson Avenue. That's Ferguson, Missouri. Just to go over a few highlights. They're gonna be doing a book bag giveaway. We've got Trey Scott. He's going to be speaking on youth financial literacy. We've got West Community Credit Union on financial literacy. We've got a couple of different performers, art, that kind of stuff going on. We have SLU doing screenings for health, as well with People's Health Center. And there are also going to be a couple of barbers there doing haircuts and that kind of stuff as well. We are reaching out to the volunteers to be a part of that in the next week or two, so we can plug you in different spots if we need you. But that is coming up on June 13th, like I said, from 2 to 7 at Forestwood. So I want to give a brief update about that. Also wanted to talk a little bit about this tax abatement since it's up again for second reading this Thursday. I just want to go over the high points. Bottom line, and I've discussed council and with Chief Hampton multiple times. Everybody's aware the last 2 or 3 years, we've been at anywhere from a $2 million to $1 million deficit in the general fund budget. The last couple of years, we've cut anything from training and travel to other things and barely made it in the black. Moving forward, we have discussion with department heads, and I know the community's main things they're looking at are public safety, roads, and those sort of things. We've talked to Chief Doyle. He feels we need to add at least 12 officers in the next 2 years. 12 officers is about $1.2 million, and that's just the officers. That's not cars, it's not equipment, it's nothing else. To say that we need to cut $3 million to $3.2 million out of this year's budget is going to be almost impossible. That's the bottom line. If I'm completely honest with the community, I see 3 options in the next 3 to 5 years. This deal that we're looking at as far as redeveloping the Emerson campus is one. Another one is a tax increase, whether it's for emergency services or whatever. That's an option. Bring it to the voters, see about additional taxes to fund these developments and keep our roads going. We could also look at additional tax bases, looking at different areas of unincorporated St. Louis County to add different tax bases to our residents so we have additional revenue, look at mergers with the neighboring communities, that kind of stuff. But those are all long-term goals. The easiest fix in the short term is this development agreement. The bottom line is we're voting on a tax abatement. We're not voting on a data center. This property is zoned currently M1. It's industrial. It's permitted by rights. We're looking at cutting a deal for the tax abatement that has the pilot payment set up what everybody's getting currently, so there's not a loss with the development, and it increasing over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years of the tax abatement as they develop into the property. But I just kind of wanted to go over that a little bit. Decision ultimately is up to the council and they make the decision, but it is how the city is going to move in the next 5 years, realistically. And that's what we're looking at right now. So do we support the tax abatement that encourages this investment into this campus? Or we look at other tax incentives going to all the voters, the people and that kind of stuff to figure out how we're gonna get more police officers to strengthen our force, how we're gonna continue to fix our roads. I was here 8, 10 years ago, we were putting $200,000 a year into road infrastructure, and that is not gonna be enough. We got lucky with ARPA dollars when we got the $4 million to help strengthen those roads. Corey's done a great job with that. But realistically, we are dropping a minimum of $500,000 to $1 million on our roads every single year to keep up with this. Otherwise, they're gonna crumble. And that's all there is to it. And so that's the way I'm trying to look at it right now. Is everything perfect? No, it's not. Is it an option? Yes, it is definitely one of the three that I'd be looking at right now. But that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, Mayor. If there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Any questions for the city manager? Councilman Franklin.
Regarding the financial numbers that were presented to council for the project, who at city vetted those numbers?
That was our legal team with Lewis Rice, along with the other legal team, Gilmore and Bell.
Is there a reason why our finance director didn't review those numbers?
He was involved in the meetings, but it was department heads and those people, yes.
And our community development team, have they been a part of?
Yes, we've had multiple discussions with our community development team as well.
Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Noel.
Yes, a question. Development team. I would like to hear from community development. What are their thoughts? I mean, we haven't heard from community development on this proposal for this tax abatement. Do they have any input? I mean, it is a big decision, and since you brought it up in questions, is there any input from community development?
I mean, I don't know that tonight's appropriate, but that's something
It's
that's
not.
scheduled for Thursday's meeting by all means, if that's a request from council.
Okay.
Any others? City manager?
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Manager's report is closed. City manager, we move to our special presentation.
Thank you, Mayor. This evening, we have two special presentations. First is going to be our HRC nominations for Advocates of the Year.
So HRC, we're under the impression, we had a meeting last night, that this is to approve those nominations, not to present. HRC, the members aren't even here. And so they were under the impression that that the council, the council has to approve the nominations before we present. We haven't approved the nominees.
Have they been sent to council?
I'm under the impression, yes, we had a meeting last night that they had been sent to. Have you all received?
City clerk.
So I sent it to you all in the council packet, the agenda packet. So I didn't know they need to be approved. So
They have
I
to
thought
be-
that they wanted to be.
I mean, and they have always been approved,
Well,
right?
that item will be tabled for tonight, since they're waiting approval of the council. Okay, next,
Your next one is Women's History Month, Mayor.
okay. For several years, I have been celebrating the women who move our community forward. Women who have worked and are working diligently to move Ferguson forward. So at this time, I would like to make some presentations. We have honorees from the first year, and we have honorees from last year. And this year, Heather Robinette, would you come forward? Third council, Mayor Pro Tem, she sat right beside me, acknowledged me sometimes, called me sometimes. Great. Fran Griffin. Fran served on the council with me. We got along when we needed to get along. But we moved this city forward. Laverne Mitchell. Yeah. Served on the council. We travel together a lot. Linda Lipka. We were in board one together. Pamela Hartley, for all the work you've done for FNIP. You know, Shirley Emerson. Works diligently in Portswood neighborhood. Marcia Parks, one of our realtors, she makes certain she sells these houses. Build in this area, so Marcia. Lamika Covington. We only worked 1 year together, but it's worth it. Laquita Noah. Yeah. Back behind the. I went behind you, look that up there. Okay. David Nelson, would you come? You were recognized last year. Anyone else who were recognized? Carolyn Randazzo, would you? All of these women are phenomenal women, and I appreciate working with you. And we still have a lot of more work to do. So Jill, would you come and share with our honorees for this year?
I would be honored. Thank you. And forgive me for having my back to you. We are here this evening to honor 7 outstanding women of Ferguson who are helping to shape and write its history, or better said, helping to write her story. And every one of these women being honored this evening is part of that story, whether you know it yet or not. I want to talk about women who changed the world while. Could we have your attention for a moment?
Excuse me, it's a little rude. Thank you, ma'am.
I want to talk about women who changed the world while life was still happening, while dinner needed to be made, while children needed to be raised, work project deadlines needed to be met, while bills still needed to be paid. Women like Annie Malone, born just miles from here, who built a business empire in St. Louis, became one of America's first female millionaires, and poured that wealth back into her community. She didn't wait for permission. She built it herself. Women like Frankie Muse Freeman, a St. Louis attorney who fought housing discrimination all the way to the Supreme Court and became the first woman to serve on the U.S. Commission of Civil Rights. The world told her no at every turn, but she showed up anyway. Women like Jackie Joyner Kersey, who grew up across the river in East St. Louis, won 6 Olympic medals, and then came back home to build opportunity for the next generation. She never forgot where she came from. And women like Ella Jones, right here in Ferguson. In 2020, she became the first Black mayor in Ferguson's history. She didn't go somewhere else to make history. She made it here in this community. But I also want to talk about another kind of woman. The woman who shows up every Saturday morning to stock the shelves at the food pantry and never posts about it. The woman who quietly pays for a child's school supplies every fall because she knows that a family is struggling. The woman who sits on the PTA board, organizes the neighborhood cleanup, answers the crisis line at midnight, drives the elderly neighbor to her doctor's appointment, and still makes it to work on Monday morning. She doesn't have a Wikipedia page. No one is giving her an award, but she is the infrastructure of this community. These women, these named and unnamed women, share one thing in common. None of them were handed time. None of them were given permission. They already carried full lives, full responsibilities, full hearts, and they showed up anyway. In the early mornings, in the exhaustion, in the moments of doubt when no one was watching and no one was clapping. So I want to speak directly to you right now in this room. The next time you think, oh, I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I have too much on my plate to matter, I want you to remember Annie Malone. Remember Jackie Joyner Kersey and Frankie Muse Freeman. Remember Ella Jones making history here in Ferguson. And then I want you to remember yourselves, because the woman standing next to you or near you, she sees what you do. This community feels the benefit of you. Your work is not invisible, even when it feels that way. You help sustain our sense of community. You are its glue. Ferguson women have always been strong enough. The only question is, do you know it yet? Her story happens right here in Ferguson. It's happening right here now, in this room with you.
You can only speak, I can try to speak in a room.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, ladies.
I'm gonna move everybody over this way. Mayor, gonna go right here. That's awesome. Yep. Ma'am, can I get you to come this way? Franklin, can I get you to come right here? Right here. There you go. Okay. Okay. Right here. Okay. Carol, yeah. Oh, right here. Please. That was mentioned. Right here, left. Got it, thank you. All right. Yeah. All right, now. The women of Ferguson, they are phenomenal women, and we truly, truly appreciate all the women in Ferguson. Now we move to our consent agenda. City Council meeting minutes. Regular council meeting minutes for February the 24th, March the 14th, March the 18th, March the 24th, and April the 14th. I'm requesting a motion and a second for approval.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We move to boards and commission. We have the Civilian Review Board for March the 2nd and the Economic Development Sales Tax Commission for March the 12th. I request a motion and a second to file the minutes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We don't have any appointments for tonight. We move to our requests. City Manager, we have 2 requests for liquor license.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Your first one is liquor license 25-34. It is for Midwest Wine Bar. They have turned everything in and we've accepted it, and it's up for your approval this evening.
I request a motion and a second for approval of Midwest Wine Bar license.
So moved.
Second, Aquita Noah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. License granted. Second license.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. The second one is liquor license 25-35. It is for Drake's Place. Again, they have everything turned in. It is up tonight for your approval.
I request a motion and a second for Drake's license.
So moved.
Second, Aquita Noah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Drake's gets their license. We have several proclamations for tonight, and I'm going to abridge them so we can consistently move forward. Number 1 is in honor of the 16th annual Alpha Zeta Chapter Business Month for the Emerald Award, whereas Ida Phi Lambda Sorority Incorporated, a distinguished legal legacy of empowerment business and professional women, founded in 1929, has continually promoted empowerment through service, leadership, economic advancement across the St. Louis metropolitan region. I therefore, Mayor Ella Jones of the city of Ferguson, proclaim that Ida Phi Lambda Sorority will have a great celebration on this Sunday. The next one is for the proclamation for Randy Skites. He began his distinguished career with the fire department on July 25th, 1991, serving as an assistant chief and EMT, whereas throughout his tenure, Randy demonstrated unwavering dedication, professionalism, and compassion in providing emergency medical service and protecting the lives and well-being of the community. Whereas after more than 3 decades of honorable service, Randy retired on January 23rd, 2026, leaving behind a legacy of integrity, courage, and selfless service. Now, therefore, I, Ella Jones, Mayor of the City of Ferguson, along with the City Council and the citizen of Ferguson, do hereby recognize Randy for his outstanding service and extended sincere gratitude and best wishes for his well-deserved retirement. Proclamation for Mary Peterson. Whereas Mary Peterson has dedicated 25 years of exemplary service to the city of Ferguson as a records clerk with the Ferguson Police Department. Whereas through her tenure, Ms. Peterson has faithfully served under 6 police chiefs and 2 interim chiefs, providing continual professionalism and unwavering support to the department personnel and the residents of Ferguson. Now, therefore, I, Ella Jones, Mayor of the City of Ferguson, Missouri, and the City Council and the citizen have proclaimed and recognized Mary for her 25 years of dedicated service to the Ferguson Police Department. I'll get him. Captain Harry Dearworth. Has dedicated more than 30 years of distinguished service to the Ferguson Police Department, serving the community with professionalism, integrity, steadfast community in his role, including patrol officer, detective, sergeant, lieutenant, and now captain of field operation. Whereas Captain Dalewood answered the call of leadership during a critical period by serving as interim chief of police, providing stability, experience, and steadfast guidance for the Ferguson Police Department, while continuing to advance the department's mission and its service to the resident of Ferguson. Whereas Captain Dealwork have been a driving force behind the Ferguson Police Department pursuing CALIA accreditation, first helping launch the process under former Chief Delrish Moss and resuming leadership of that effort in 2025 when the work was reactivated. Now, therefore, I, Ella Jones, the mayor of the city of Ferguson, and the city council and the citizen hereby proclaim our sincere appreciation and recognition for Captain Harry Dealworth for his exemplary service, outstanding leadership, and lasting contribution to the Ferguson Police Department and the city of Ferguson, with special recognition for his service as interim chief of police for shaping the department early consent decree work. That deserve a hand. Whereas John Hampton has faithfully served the residents of the city of Ferguson with unwavering dedication, professionalism, and integrity. Whereas John stepped into the role of interim city manager in 2019 and again in 2023, providing steadfast leadership and continuing during times of transition. Whereas he was officially appointed as both the city manager and fire chief in January of 2024, demonstrating exceptional capability and balancing the responsibility of both critical roles. Whereas during his tenure as city manager, Chief Hampton worked diligently to strengthen the city operations, support staff, advance initiative to benefit the city of Ferguson. Whereas Chief Hampton's contribution have left a lasting impact on the city of Ferguson and his efforts have helped guide the city forward with purpose and stability. Whereas he transitioned from his role as city manager to continue his distinguished career as fire chief of the city of Ferguson. Now, therefore, I, Ella Jones, mayor of the city of Ferguson, along with the city council, to citizens of Ferguson, do hereby extend our sincere gratitude and appreciation to Chief Hampton for his outstanding service as city manager. Commend him for his many accomplishments, steadfast leadership, and wish him continued success as fire chief as he continue his dedicated service and commitment to the city of Ferguson. I'm Hampton, would you come? Mary, would you come? The deal work. Every time there is swearing in. And so the last time that I went over, he has a presidential flag. And I am just so excited that we don't have to fight over the flag anymore. All right. Chief Hampton, in 2020, during the pandemic, we really worked to keep this city together. Feeding people, doing everything for seniors, food, everything, and I appreciate all the work, everything you've done. And as city manager, we got along great. We had some knockout, drag out, nobody ever knew, because we kept them, because we were leaders. And our purpose was to get past those and do everything we can for the city. Mary, girl, you've been for 25 years. Appreciate you. So, Fire Chief, this is from the council, the staff, everything. We secretly called Chris. I see. And we want you to take a bit of us, switch it back to the firehouse. All right.
You want to do a photo when you put it all? You sit in the next.
Right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Johnson, why you take the man's shoulders? Can you bring?
I see.
We don't have any resolutions for tonight. We have bills requiring second reading. Bill number 30, bill number 7535, 7335. I'm requesting a motion in a second to read the bill a second time and place it upon its passage.
So moved.
Second, Lamika Covington.
Attorney Ryan, please read the bill.
Ordinance approving the lot consolidation of property being proposed at Somerset Park Phase One and amending the zoning map for the same within the city of Ferguson, County of St. Louis, state of Missouri.
City Manager Musgrave.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. This is the bill that we discussed last time over at Somerset. It's consolidation so the developer can build single-family homes in that development. If there's questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Any questions for the city manager?
Mayor, just right quick, city manager, there was some confusion with the lot numbers. Was that straightened out?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Clerk London, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassoff,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Palmer,
Aye.
Councilman Williams,
Aye.
Bill number 7335 passes. We have bill number 7336. I'm requesting a motion in a second to read the bill a second time and place it upon its passage.
So moved.
second, Lamika Covington.
Attorney Ryan, please read the bill.
An ordinance of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, adding a provision to the city's code of ordinances to facilitate the acceptance by the city of Ferguson of gifts.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. As explained last time, this bill kind of defines how we can accept donations. This one was brought up because of property primarily, but it outlines that process moving forward. If there's questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Any questions for the city manager? Clerk London, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassoff,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Palmer,
Aye.
Councilman Williams.
Aye.
Bill number 7336 passes. We move to bill number 7337. I request a motion in a second for the bill to be read and place it upon its passage.
So moved.
Second, Lamika Covington.
Attorney Ryan, please read the bill.
An ordinance of the city of Ferguson, Missouri, authorizing the city to accept the donation of 511 Suburban Avenue in the city of Ferguson, Missouri.
City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. This one is the donation of 511 Suburban to the city. If there's questions, more than happy to answer.
Any questions for the city manager? Clerk London, please call the roll.
Councilman Cassoff,
Aye.
Councilwoman Covington,
Aye.
Councilwoman Noah, Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Councilman Franklin,
Aye.
Councilman Palmer,
Aye.
Councilman Williams.
Aye.
Bill number 7337 passes. At this time, we need the certification of the April 7th election. Clerk London, please read the certified elections results.
The official results of the mayoral election for the city of Ferguson held on April 7, 2026 are as follows. A total of 2,058 votes were cast. Adrian Shropshire received 1,180 votes. Nicholas Kassoff received 878 votes. Based on these results, Adrian Shropshire has received the highest number of votes and is hereby declared elected as mayor. These results have been certified by the St. Louis County Board of Election.
Requesting a motion in a second to accept the results of the election as presented by St. Louis County Board of Election Commissioners.
So moved.
Second, Laquita Noah.
Are there any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. So ordered. We do unfinished business tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. Just right quick. We need to amend some minutes from 8/27/24. So I would like to make a motion. I sent you all out an email to amend the minutes from 8/27/24 regarding Bill 7288 with the necessary corrections. Did anyone review that or?
I coughed. When the minutes was read, and when I requested a motion in a second and asked for the question, that should have been brought up then for the minutes.
Okay.
So at this point, what is your request, Councilwoman?
I motion to amend the minutes from 8/27/24 regarding Bill 7288 with the necessary corrections.
You have heard the motion from Councilwoman Noor to amend those minutes. What is your favor? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Clerk London, please make the notification in your minutes to amend the ones that Councilwoman Noor has shared with us at this time. Thank you. Any new business, old business, unfinished business, Councilman Williams?
So Club Zero has been operating for over a year. And so they have, bring your own beer, and they haven't had too many incidents. So, when we get the new council, I would like to see them get their liquor license. If you haven't had time, actually go in that business. I mean, it's very nice. And so I did go by there about a year ago, and I couldn't believe how nice it was. And I went back to the kitchen. I said, "Where's your kitchen?" They were like, "Well, that's going to be $30,000. We really can't afford it because we don't have our liquor license." So they've prospered in spite of, and they haven't had too many incidents, to be honest. So, you know, I would say go by and just go inside and actually look and see how nice it is. And I know the Club Zero, it didn't resonate with a lot of people. And so I guess when you're Ferguson Club, I mean, Ground Zero means the Mike Brown situation. I'm from the East Coast. When you say Ground Zero, I think of New York with the terrorist attacks. I mean, if you're in Japan and you think of Ground Zero, you think of Hiroshima. And then I actually Googled Club Zero. It's a lot of clubs in the United States called Club Zero, Ground Zero. So I don't think we should get hung up in the name. If we want businesses to come, I think we really should give them an opportunity. That's it.
Any other unfinished business? We have one item that is unfinished business. Thank you, Deputy Clerk. We have a proclamation of honoring the Ferguson Police Department Bureau of Investigation for 91% homicide clearing rate in 2025. Whereas the safety and well-being of the residents of the city of Ferguson remain a top priority, and the pursuit of justice for victims and their families and the fundamental responsibility of law and law enforcement. And whereas the Ferguson Police Department Bureau of Investigation demonstrate exceptional performance, professionalism, and unwavering commitment by achieving a 100% homicide clearance rate in 2025. Doing that, every homicide case was successfully solved through diligent investigation work. Whereas this extraordinary accomplishment reflects the leadership of Captain Tim Harris, who has guided the Bureau with integrity, strategy, strategic vision, and a steadfast commitment to excellence. Whereas the members of the Bureau, Detective Scott Woolridge, Detective Sammy Newman, and Detective Stephen, and former Detective Rick Finn, whose service and recent retirement are recognized with gratitude, have demonstrated exceptional skill, tenacity, and dedication, and conduct thorough and effective conducting thorough and effective investigation. Whereas these detectives have been widely recognized for their resourcefulness, diligence, and unwavering commitment to build prosecutable cases while also bringing a sense of justice and closure to victim families during this most difficult time. Whereas Detective Sammy Newman, who leads the Crime Against Person team, has distinguished himself as a highly regarded investigator, mentor, and trainer, contributing significantly to the personal development of fellow officers and to the policy development within the department through his extensive certifications, awards, and expertise. And whereas the success of the Bureau of Investigation is strengthened through critical partnership with the St. Louis County Police Department, the St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, and other law enforcement agencies whose collaboration enhance investigative outcomes and promote regional public safety. And whereas the Bureau work exemplifies the highest standard of modern policemen, grounded in professionalism, accountability, collaboration, and a deep commitment to justice. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Ella Jones, on behalf of the City Council and the residents of the City of Ferguson, do proclaim our sincere appreciation and recognition of the Ferguson Police Department Bureau of Investigation for achieving 100% homicide clearance rate in 2025. Let's give them a hand. G, would you come and stand with the men who have done such a great work for the city of Ferguson? Our police chief. Oh, I'm glad when I leave, she ain't gonna boss me no more. Thank you. Thank you. Do we have any other unfinished business? Hear none? We move to new business. Do we have any new business? Hear none? We move to miscellaneous. Let's start with Councilwoman Noor. And I would like to ask that those of you who went to the campus of the old Emerson site, would you please share some of that in your remarks?
Well, since you asked, I will. Thank you, Mayor Jones. I was going to speak to Bill 7388, but I'm going to pause on that until Thursday because I have other things to say and we have other things to do. I did take the tour with the council and the city manager and some of the staff yesterday, and the campus is nice. We did go into the previous Emerson headquarters, which is now vacant. We did not go into the other buildings, which was surprising to me because that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the current data center, that is the Emerson Data Center, how it is functioning, what that looks like. We did not go into Copeland. It was stated by Kristen, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Christine, that the Emerson Data Center has been functioning for 10 years, but I thought that it was longer than that. So there was some confusion there. She also, well, Mr. Anders stated that the building that sits right behind Payne in North Hills, it's a new building. It's what's a newer building on the campus. It's where the data center would be. And again, we're not voting on a data center, we're voting for the tax abatement, but that's a large piece to this conversation. And so I'm assuming that it would be a new data center would be constructed there. And it, again, it's there's a lot of confusion and unknowns because if there will be a new data center constructed there, what does that look like? But I'm going to pause right there with that. Mayor, you asked, so I just wanted to, answer you. As far as a liquor license for Ground Zero, I'm not against the business. However, I will not support a club at the location. A dine-in, carry-out restaurant with a liquor menu or solely an event center, sure, but not a club. The residents who live in that area have spoken. We are having a Nesbitt Newton meeting tomorrow, which Nesbitt Newton neighborhood is right around the corner from Canfield. The residents who live on Canfield, Ellison, Clarion, they have spoken. Again, I'm not against that business, but just like as a Ward 3 council rep, I have to listen to all of the Ward 3 residents who care about their neighborhoods. I listen to those people too. They have a voice. And again, I'm not against that business. I know it's a Black-owned business. I'm a Black woman. But a club right there is not beneficial. We have done a lot to clean up the area. We need the West Florissant and Gray Streets project to come through. We're waiting on that. There has been a neighbor, the people who live in the greenhouse right there at Clarion and Canfield, someone ran almost into their home, into a tree. I'm not blaming that on Ground Zero. I'm not blaming Ground Zero at all. But what I am saying is I don't personally believe we need a club there. I'm not against their liquor license if it would be a restaurant where you can go dine in, sit down, or solely an event center. But I have to listen to all Ward 3 residents. All of your opinions are valuable, okay? So as far as that, thank you to the residents who spoke tonight. I do hear you all. Thank you to the resident on LC that spoke about the nuisance, the street leaking. Yes, it is still leaking. It is a nuisance. I believe there's a spring up under a driveway, 2 houses down from where the resident lives. And I know that this is going to be a big issue, but we have got to do what we can. Regarding the HRC nominations for the Advocate of the Year, I apologize for any confusion. Lavetta, that's on us. We do have to approve those applicants. The council does, so if that information can be placed on the next agenda, and then we'll have the presentations, the second, well, I guess it'll be the first meeting in May. Again, Nesbitt Newton will meet tomorrow at the Nesbitt Newton Park. At 6 p.m., please bring a lawn chair, FPD, code enforcement, community development, public works, park and rec, whoever can come. You all are welcome to come to give updates. I want to send a huge shout out and thank you to the staff. Thank you, City Manager Musgrave. I mean, your response time is great. I heard you, I read your email. We do want to encourage residents to utilize the report of concern tool. We are here to help. Unfortunately, some residents, they just, online is still confusing to them. So I ask for grace for them, but I am encouraging that, and I will also help them with that as well. Finally, thank you, Mayor Jones, for your support of me. I wouldn't be in this seat if it wasn't for Mayor Jones. I want everyone to know that she supported me being on council. Yes, we have had our differences as well, but I'm still here supporting her. I have a proclamation that I want to read to Mayor Jones from the City Council because I'm the Mayor Pro Tem at this time, just for a couple more minutes. We also have some roses and a card from the council. It's just a little something, not compared to those, but that's okay. Okay. So. You want me to read here or that, or you want me to go down? Okay, Bob, read it right here. Okay, you are. So this is the proclamation. So it says, whereas Mayor Ella Jones has served the city of Ferguson with distinction, integrity, and a steadfast commitment to public service. And whereas Ella Jones was elected to the Ferguson City Council, representing the First Ward and becoming a trusted voice for her constituents. And whereas on June 17th, 2020, Ella Jones was sworn in as the first Black and first female mayor of Ferguson, marking a historic milestone for the city and inspiring generations to come. And whereas on April 4th, 2023, Mayor Jones was re-elected to serve a second term, reflecting the trust and confidence the community placed in her leadership. And whereas during her tenure as mayor, Ella Jones has demonstrated strong leadership, resilience, and a deep dedication to unity, progress, and the well-being of the Ferguson residents. And whereas throughout her time in office, Mayor Jones has worked tirelessly, to move the city of Ferguson forward, fostering collaboration, supporting community growth, and advocating for equity and opportunity. And whereas this marks her final day serving as mayor of Ferguson, the city recognizes her contributions and the positive impact of her leadership. Now, therefore, the Ferguson City Council and the citizens of Ferguson do hereby extend our sincere gratitude and appreciation to Mayor Ella Jones for her dedicated service to the city of Ferguson and its residents, and honor her historic achievements, commend her years of leadership, and wish her continued success and fulfillment in all future endeavors. Thank you, Mayor Ella Jones. My head is frozen. An excellent award presented to Ella M. Jones for your exceptional leadership as councilwoman and mayor of the city of Ferguson. Your vision, strength, and dedication have left an enduring legacy in our community, April 2025 through April 2026. With sincere appreciation, City of Ferguson Council, staff, and citizens. We thank you, Mayor Ella Jones. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, can you actually? Oh, well, thank you.
I'm ready. 1, 2, 3.
If anyone else has any presentations for the mayor, let's do that now. So you all step on up and please.
Mayor Jones, I'd like to ask you to come on down here.
Okay. I apologize. We can, since,
Linda.
Linda, I'm sorry. Linda, since you're up here first, you go ahead, and then you all can just flow in line. Whoever, Chief Doyle, you have a presentation, and then who else has a presentation? Who? She told me. She was there.
You should
This is.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I've had the honor of working with Ella for 9 years And our first couple of years didn't go so well. We were rocky. We were getting to know each other. We were trying to figure out this position that we were in. But one thing that never changed, or one thing that we did agree on, and that never changed, was that we both cared about this community very deeply. And when I complimented you on Facebook this week, people made comments like, oh, she wasn't like that in the past. And you're right, I wasn't. But I evolved, I learned, I became aware, I talked. I didn't just get angry all the time. We talked, and we talked honestly, and we talked about our situations, and we began to really enjoy working together. And so in those conversations and all the side commentary when we're sitting waiting for a meeting or we're going on a group retreat, or it's like, there's a few things you learn about Ella. Let me explain one of those things. So, when you get to know Ella, you know she loves the garden. And gardening is her thing. She also loves pollinators. So this is for you, Ella. And when I got it, it was funny. I was picking it out just as you called me today, and I almost asked you what plant you wanted. So, but anyway, I picked this one out for you because it's hardy, it will grow, it will blossom, it'll be beautiful, and it won't be succumb to any of the outside forces, a lot like you.
Thank you.
And then
My parent.
the other thing is she loves shopping trips. And I don't mean in Ferguson or St. Louis. I mean Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. I'm not sending you on one, sorry. But she also loves jewelry. And I'm gonna get a little emotional. My mom adored Ella. And my mom was a jewelry maker until she couldn't any longer. And I have a lot of pieces. And I went through the pieces and I picked this up. My son said, "Oh, did you give her the most expensive one we could have sold?" I'm like, "Yes, I did, because this one spoke to me. This is the one that will look best on you. This is the one that is gorgeous. And this is the one I know my mother would be proud if you wear. And I would love for you to look at it now."
Oh. This is gorgeous. Oh. Yeah. Oh, Linda, thank you, love you.
Are the instructions for your plan?
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for your friendship.
Thank you.
Name Stephanie. My staff does. So usually I'm here at the council meeting, present the report from the police department. However, we're here to acknowledge the service for the cities of Seaton. And before we do, a quick story that people should know that when John and Ella reached out to me to come out here to be the police chief in Ferguson, I would say it was probably about a month and a half in, and I called her, had a conversation with her and said, "Man, you didn't tell me so much work out here to do." And her response was that had I told you, you wouldn't have came. So the work has been challenging, but it's been rewarding. But this evening, what we want to do is honor you. I want to say though that I know you came in during a time, probably this city's most challenging time, in the history of this city. But you did it with honor, you did it with dedication, and you did it for the love of this city. I know during my tenure here as the police chief, you've been very supportive. You've always been accessible. And again, like I said, just always, had the police department's back. That being said, this evening, on behalf of the men and women of the Ferguson Police Department, I want to present you with the certificate of appreciation again for your unwavering support.
Wow.
What did I do?
Well, Mayor, you read it.
We made it. I'm good.
You gotta read your own certificate.
No, we fine. Okay.
I gotta get some.
Okay. I just would like to say the day that John and I were sitting in the office and we were talking, and John said, "Mayor, what's Troy doing?" I said, "Let's find out." So I called him and I told him that John had wanted to talk with him. And you just immediately responded and came over. But you brought your wife with you. And we love Yolanda so much and all the rest of you all wives and stuff. So we have worked really, really good together. I appreciate you all and I love you all. So if you see me speak down the road.
She would still get a ticket.
Give me some more flowers.
Thank you. All right. You're the guys. Okay, back to the podium. Okay.
Off the wall, please.
Okay. I'm saying with all my flowers. This way. Slide it over. Steven? Going once, going twice. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Thought she was gonna.
Okay.
Someone else to take a picture?
Caitlin, can you get the shot? Right here, right here. There you go.
Here, I'll take it for you. Tim Larson, do you need to take my picture? All right.
It's Washington. All right.
Oh, no.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Miss Covington, Councilwoman Covington.
All right. I'm gonna make it fast because I know Adrian ready to get up here and boss us around. So I was one of the ones that went to the Emerson building yesterday. Most of the buildings are empty. It was 2 locations that had people in them. The building that we went in was completely empty. That's kind of why I guess he was, well, this is the reason he told me yesterday. The reason he does not have anything made up is because he's waiting for people to lease out those spaces. So he can't make it before he know who wants to be in the building. So that was one reason, because I know it was like a question on no any drawings of the building or anything like that. Also, to Mr. Allen is not in here. He asked the question last week, did we read the document? Also, we didn't get the document 2 hours before the meeting. Let me make that very clear. I was halfway through the document last week. I did finish it. I have sent emails over on things I had questions about. Yesterday, I had questions. I got those questions answered. Some of the questions is more of things you don't understand. So I'm not an engineer. So some of those questions, I even went to people that work at my daughter's school because that's an engineering school. So I put my questions there. That's about all I have to say about that, because I know everybody, I don't want to repeat same thing Councilwoman Noah said, or give other people a chance to speak. But the location is huge. That was my first time being there. I didn't know how big that location is. So it will take him a while to get people into those buildings and get it up and running. Mayor Jones, I want to say thank you. I remember the second meeting, you gave me a call and gave me a talk. And I appreciate it, and I appreciate answering my phone calls. I appreciate helping me guide my way through my first year. Hopefully you answer my phone calls after this, because I'm gonna have a whole bunch of other questions. And I will miss you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman Orr. Councilman Cassoff.
Covington.
Oh, I call you Nora, okay. Councilwoman Covington. Councilman Cassoff.
Okay, first quickly regarding the Emerson campus. It's beautiful, it's enormous. I would hate to have to pay the bill to cut the grass in that place. It just goes on forever. And the wild thing about it is you can be in a building and because of the terrain and the hills and stuff, you can stand in a building and can't see anything outside that campus. It just looks like you're in the middle of a grassy forest. So, and they got tennis courts and a playground, and it's unbelievable. I hope that it gets put to good use. That's all I'm going to say about that. I remember my first day on council. And so does Mayor Jones. I had called out some out of town commercial landlords who were severely delinquent in their property taxes. And one of them sent the mayor a nasty letter, and the mayor was concerned and expressed her concern in the meeting in no uncertain terms. And, you know, I was right back at her, as I always am. And at that time, I thought, man, this is going to be a rough 3 years on council. And I'm delighted to say 2 years later that Mayor Jones has become a trusted colleague and friend. And there's something I can say about Mayor Jones that I don't say about a lot of elected officials. The Bible says, let your yeas be yeas and your nays be nays, and anything else comes from the evil one. If Mayor Jones says something, and we may agree or disagree, but if she says something to me, I can take that to the bank because she has integrity. And I value that more than anything else, whether it's in a friend or a colleague or an elected official. That I'm able to trust somebody's word means everything. And that is what I have found in 2 years of sitting next to Mayor Jones. She's never lied. She's never misrepresented. And in all honesty, we've agreed a lot more than we've disagreed. And that's always been a joy as well for that to happen. So, Mayor Jones, thank you for your service. Thank you for allowing me to sit next to you and grow for the last 2 years. And as Councilor Covington said, we're going to miss you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilman Franklin.
So I was on the tour, was that yesterday or the day before? And so here's my perspective on it. I had been on the campus before. Campus is beautiful. If you look at St. Louis County's real estate tax records, in 2025, it was at an all-time high of what it was assessed for and valued in this entire century. So for whatever reason, last year that campus went up in value, which is a good thing. Almost an $8 million increase in the appraisal. So what that's told me is that it's not a dying campus with or without this project. It's holding its value, and entrepreneurs, business entities, they will invest. I talked to Mr. Onder directly because I have an issue with there being no facility plan. And his statement was, we don't have one because we're still trying to figure it out. And so nothing wrong with that. But in order for me to, in good conscience, give a 15-year tax abatement to any developer, I need to know what you're going to build. That's just good business. You can't open a restaurant, a grocery store without some type of facility plan. That's just the way we conduct business. And so, you know, again, you all know where I stand on this issue. I'm a hard no. I just saw down in the city of St. Louis, they've got a data center going into the armory, no tax abatement. That's going to be quite profitable for the city of St. Louis. And it's in a commercial zone in Midtown where there's not a residential community that butts up against it. And the residents in the city, there's a lot of folks that still don't want it to happen, but at least they're going to start getting paid from day one. But again, moving on to Mayor Jones, you know, I met you in 2017 when you were first campaigning for mayor of the city. Didn't know you were a council person. You came into the barbershop asking for our votes. And I think I told you, I said, your delivery was a little weak, but we got you. And so, but you've only grown. You were the first person to really see my potential to sit up here on this diocese, and I appreciate that. Yeah, it's okay, Nick. And so, you know, I really want to thank you for your encouragement because you didn't know me. All you had was my application and my presentation when I wanted to fill Tony Burrow's remaining term. And so you encouraged me. So I've learned a lot from you. I've learned how to, you know, run a campaign. I've learned how to connect with the people. And, you know, we haven't agreed on everything. You know, we have our little disagreements. And if Councilman Kassoff could get a hold of our text messages, he'd have a field day with it. You know, but I just want to say I thank you for your dedication to this city and you know, like you stay firm in what you believe in, right or wrong. You know, and so I can respect that from anybody. And you will be missed, and just know you're still a part of this community. You know, a lot of times, you know, when elected officials are done, we don't see them anymore. So I expect to see you still active in the community. If you're serving on county council, great. But if not, you know, we've got plenty of boards and commissions and neighborhood organizations. Your expertise would be greatly appreciated. So anything I can do, let me know. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve the people, and God bless you.
Thank you, Councilman Franklin. Councilman Palmer.
I also wanted to thank the mayor for her 11 years of service on the council. This job is not easy, more often thankless than thanked. But I did talk to her the other day for about 30 minutes, and she assured me that no matter what happens in her election, she's still going to be in Ferguson. So sitting in the county council chambers or not, she's still going to be active in the community. So that's what matters most. We've had mayors leave the city over the years. We've had council people leave the city, but it's good to see someone who still wants to remain committed to the community even once they're not serving anymore. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Palmer. Councilman Williams.
Raise your hand if you have one of these. Just raise your hand. Smartphone. Most of you guys can't go a day without using it. So your Twitter, your Facebook, your iCloud, where do you think that data is housed? Servers, data centers. So when I drive my car, the car beside me, the marijuana smoke is so strong, I smell it in my car. How many of you guys like to smoke a little marijuana sticks? Raise your hand.
Did I go?
So marijuana has more carcinogens than this data center. And so people go and buy and smoke that every day. You're basically killing yourself. I mean, Newports kill more brothers than gun violence. So I am a proponent of the data center, but we have to have some reality. The transportation, the cars that we drive make more pollution than a data center. I think transportation is 16%. People take the jets that fly. The airport is right there. You know how much pollution that airport produces? We're not saying close the airport down, don't build on the airport. And so I just want to thank some of the people who stood up and gave positive facts for the data center to get some of the misinformation that is presented. It takes a lot of guts when when you try to speak facts that people are opposed to. So I just want to thank you guys for standing up and saying your truth. And lastly, Mayor Jones, we got off to a rocky start.
We did.
I know you were Team Phaedra all the way. You were not my friend. But as time went on and I had my own challenges, you said stay off of Facebook because I wanted to hurt some people. You was like, David, stay off of Facebook. You said they talk about me like a dog, but I'm still here. I have to do the right thing. And I did that. I stayed off of Facebook. I'm Facebook free for almost a year now. So I just want to thank you. And over the 2 years, I think we gathered a mutual respect for each other. And I realized how hard public service is. And being in your seat is not easy. You said they talk about me like a dog, but I still go on. And you said, stay off of Facebook. That was the best thing you ever told me. So, I just want to thank you for your tenure. I got 1 more year. I don't think I can do 11 like you did. I appreciate your time. And God bless, but not good night yet, but God bless everybody.
Thank you. Councilman Williams. City Clerk London.
Mayor, I just want to say thank you for believing in me, mentoring me, and giving me opportunities and helping me grow. And I wish you the best of luck and God bless.
Thank you. Deputy Clerk Cindy.
Mayor, I just want to say thank you and I wish you the best. And I know we'll be seeing you around. Can't leave Ferguson, I know that.
All right, Attorney Ryan.
Congratulations, Mayor. Thank you very much and best wishes to you and your.
Thank you. Chief Hampton.
Yeah, so I got a lot of words to say. Everybody knows. I'm pretty private, but Mayor, is always a privilege and honor. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. City Manager.
Mayor Jones, I just want to thank you for your years of service. I believe I met you within my first 2 months of coming to the city back in 2014 from the Unity Days and everything else. So thank you for everything you've done for the city. Like everyone else said, stand up. You've done a great job in that seat and we really do appreciate it and look forward to what you're going to continue to do.
Thank you, City Manager. It's my turn. Is my pastor still here? I just wanted to thank the Reverend Dr. Spencer Lamar Booker. You wonder how I sit in this seat? It's because of him. He keeps me grounded. And he always told me, don't worry about what people say about you, but remember grace and mercy will follow you, and let grace and mercy do their job and you continue to move forward. I just would like to say thank you to the city of Ferguson for giving me the opportunity to go to the Municipal Governance Institute and earn a certification as a municipal officer. And I completed the advanced certification. Thank you to the city of Ferguson. I appreciate that. In those classes, I learned how to budget, public works, community vision, planning and zoning, effective staff, and council relationships. In the Missouri Municipal League, I served on the Legislative Committee and the Environment, Energy, and Sustainable Development. And I serve as the chair for 2025 through 2026. This chair, it gives you sweet recognition and it gives you heartaches. It takes a lot to be a mayor of any city, any size. One thing I've learned as being a mayor, the most important vote that is cast is the vote of the mayor. Why? Because the mayor has a weighted vote. That is the vote of the city. The mayor cannot vote for one faction or another. Every time I cast a vote, I had to look at the 18,517 people who believed that I was going to cast a vote for the betterment of this city. And everything I've done, I've lived here 50 years, and I'm gonna live here 50 more. And, and my daughter already knows I'm not going anywhere. She has already planned on getting 2 condos, put me in one and putting her in the other. I told her she's gonna come home and stay with me. There's a lot of work still needs to be done in Ferguson. But there's one project. It's called Airport Hereford Chambers Roundabout. Yay! How many of you all know about that? The number is STPMO 27-033. County Executive Sam Page and I have worked hard and diligently to get this on the agenda for the East-West Gateway. It will cost $7.5 million for that roundabout. If we don't find funding from somewhere, we will not be able to pay our portion of that $7.5 million. People have called me and said the $1 million that we got from Congressman Bell, we should take that money and fix potholes. But that money came from HUD and it's earmarked for Plaza 501. Yep. We cannot do anything else but improve Plaza 501. A lot of people been on Facebook and they stay on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. Somebody asked me, where do I stand when it comes to Project Butterfly, 801 West Florissant? I don't see why anybody asked me that question. I was the first one to introduce the bill. I stand with the staff. I stand with the staff on Project Butterfly. If we don't do something, those new police officers you want, you will not get them. The budget coming up, we might have to lay someone off. The city manager said the ARPA money, we have exhausted the $4 million. We got to work. We got an opportunity. So if anybody want to question where I am, and God saw fit that the lot didn't fall for me to vote on it. You vote on the 23rd. The 20 days did not fall within my administration. I'm speaking. People asked, did we read? I read the 300 plus pages, plus 280 pages from the chapter 100 for Boeing. I compared the two. And the one we're getting is good. So you want to know where I stand? I stand with the revitalization of the Emerson campus. I stand with Save Lives Now. We got children 13, 14 years old killing one another. We got East-West Gateway to put out $300,000. The Missouri Municipal League has put out $25,000. The city of St. Louis had put out over $10 million. And St. Louis County can't put out $1.7 million. That's where I stand. To save our children, to make a future. In 2015, when I was asked to run for the council seat, I walked away from a profitable business paying me $12,000 a month and driving a company car. I turned all that in to serve Ferguson. This is my home, and I'm going to do everything I can in my power and yours too to keep Ferguson alive and well. Ferguson helped me raise my child. I could take my daughter over to the library and run my business and go back and pick her up at 10 minutes of 8 at night. When my husband passed away, this community stood with me. They cared for me when my husband passed away. And my recent surgery on my back, this community was with me. So you ask me where I stand? I stand with Ferguson, and I'm gonna always stand with Ferguson. And whatever it takes, I'll be there. I love this city. This city is my home, and I intend to see it grow for the best of Ferguson. I don't want it to be anything else but the best Ferguson that it can be. A lot of people say I look at Ferguson through rose-colored glasses. Yes, I do. Because we have a bright future in ahead of us when we all work together for this city we say we love. At this time, I'm going to request a motion and a second to adjourn this administration. Sign or die.
So moved.
Second, Lamika Covington.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I have it. Thank you. Thank you. Give us 5 minutes for the new mayor to come. Yeah. Yeah. We're going to the office. Yeah.